Is week 1 JSL Evolutions Group D action. We've gone through 3 exciting best of 3 series so far. We've had no 2-0 so far. Our next series, oh man, he's got an accent in his name. It is Würmchen versus Spirit, and with that accent I'm almost definitely saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm such an American. Anyways, let's get into map number 1 between these two teams. If you've just tuned in or you're unaware of the format, JSL is a pretty long regular season where they're going to seed into the playoffs. Each week, the first map is provided to them, and after that, the loser picks. There's no vetoes. You need to be prepared on all of the maps. Your opponent can prepare if you are ready for if you lose map number 1, you can have a pocket build built into one of these maps. Map number 1 for week number 1 was Golden Wall. So admin's very smart to get these players to play some games on Golden Wall early in the season. It's made for some fun games tonight. Let's get into map number 1 of Würmchen versus Spirit. Würmchen, thank you. Würmchen, aha. I knew I was wrong, I just didn't know how I was wrong. Würmchen versus Spirit. Let's get into map number 1 on Golden Wall. Such an American, can't pronounce other names. Alright, I'm going to go with their names in game. So, spawning in the top right-hand corner, we've got the Zerg player. It's Würmchen or Coyote. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got the Protoss player. It's Spirit. I'm going to go ahead and fix these. They do not have a 1-1 score already. That's incorrect. Let's see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is not the right map. One moment, guys. One moment. This is not the right map. Hey, Farah, what's up, dude? Your games, Farah, were the first ones that I did tonight. I'm going to get them on YouTube, though. So I'll make sure I will shoot you the links for YouTube. I'm gonna cancel this. I'm going to throw up this screen. They might have just played the wrong maps, which is fine. It's really not a big deal. But let me check the other replays. I don't want to like give any spoilers. So let me check the other replays and see. And just real quick, bear with me a second. Let me see. People make mistakes, but I want to make sure we do the games in the right order if they're in the right order. You were doing yoga. Nice, Farah. Yoga's good for you. All right, bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm checking these. I'm going to switch the scenes back once I know. Yeah, okay, they just played the wrong maps, so that's okay, not the end of the world. I'm going to go back to the other game now that they had labeled game 1. Well, hold on, let me check one more. I think they just played the wrong maps. I'm going to check one more real fast. Sorry about this, guys. I checked on the series that I thought I needed to check before. I checked, but this one I thought, because it was labeled with the games, but no worries. Alright, let's get into map number 1. Sorry about the delay. Map number 1 of Würmchen versus Spirit. Oh, hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Come here. Come here. Up. Up, up. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. He wants to go outside. He's sick of this. Alright, let's get into map number 1. It will be Ice and Chrome instead of Golden Wall. So, no big deal. Alright, spawning in the top right-hand corner once again, it's Coyote. And in the bottom left-hand corner, once again, it's the toss player, it's Spirit. So we've been here before. We've already seen the first 15 seconds of this game. We know nothing too substantial happens. Spirit throwing down that first pylon on the high ground. An interesting choice for the PvZ matchup. I think the standard for PvZ is to wall on the low ground, so you can safely secure a natural. Let's see if Spirit has some sort of particular plan. Coyote, on the other hand, is going straight up to 16 supply on the drones. We got an admin in chat, Delicat. One of the admins is going to talk to these players, just explain the format to them. It was week 1, and maybe they got it right week 2 and 3, which have been played, but not a huge deal. It's an amateur league, but they do need to know the format moving forward. Glad we've got very active admins in JSL tuning into the cast, catching these types of things. Ooh, Spirit being a little bit annoying with this opening probe. Gonna poke away, maybe see if he can get a drone kill. The drones are gonna stop and turn on the probe, get back to work, but the distraction seeds have been planted. Gateway on the way home for Spirits, adding on a second gas. No sign of headed down for a are you going to do a Nexus or a he's going to do Cybernetic Core. Alright, so Spirit going with the core opener. Very common macro build in the PvZ matchup would be to throw down the Nexus and then the core. So I think if Spirit's going to win this game, he's going to have something aggressive in mind based on the way that he's opening here. But, you know, we'll see. That's part of the fun of amateur level Star. And when I say amateur level, we're talking really diamond and lower. Masters are amateurs and low masters too. Just stuff can work that really shouldn't work. And we spend so much time, StarCraft fans, we spend a lot of time, better late than never on the Good Luck Have Funs. We spend a lot of time watching pro players and really learning the ins and outs of the pro game. But it doesn't always come into effect in our games. And it's real exciting when they break out different ideas, and it can make it tough to predict who's going to win. It's tough to tell who's in the lead sometimes. Part of that's me, but part of that is also the unpredictability. Spirit's going to go ahead and expand. It's a later expansion than a macro build, and it could be hard to hold if Coyote or Würmchen decides to get a little aggressive here. That doesn't appear to be his plan, though. He's throwing down at third base. He's got the 4 Zerglings, but he says 4 Zerglings are enough for now. We look here, a Robo is on the way for Spirit back at home, so he is going to go with a Robo opener. Four more drones on the way, so yeah, even though the way Spirit opened up here is not... It's hard to defend this low ground. If Zerg... So if you're a Zerg player watching this game, or if you're a Protoss player watching this game, this natural base, if Zerg is aggressive, is so hard to hold without the wall on the low ground. 2 Adepts are coming across the map. There's a queen in each base, and a third queen on the way at the natural. That should be enough to scare these Adepts off, but if these Adepts can slip in while Coyote's distracted, they might be able to get some good damage done. Worker count's about even 26 to 25, but 6 more workers are about to pop here for Coyote, and here they come. That will give him a little bit of a worker lead. Here we go. Adepts taking the fight with the Lings. They like their odds, and they should. The Shade's going to finish. They are going to get behind this main mineral line, start mowing through drones. 2 so far. Shout out to these players for using Game Heart. One of these Adepts gets surrounded. A little strange micro here. Needed to A-move the drones if you're going to have the drones fight, so a little bit of miss micro is going to cost them a lot of drones. He gets the Zerglings back home, but he's going to lose 12 drones before this is all said and done. I know, so what's fun, another thing about leagues like JSL, and I don't know this to be the case for these players, I can tell you my first JSL games last season, I was super nervous because I hadn't played a lot of league games yet. I hadn't played games I knew that were going to get casted. Overlord's scout is going to get taken down. But yeah, I'm going to guess that nerves played a factor there. Coyote coming looking for a counterattack, but there is plenty of Protoss here to deal with these Zerglings. It looks like a lot of Zerglings, but 4 Zealots are absolutely going to manhandle that force, and Coyote seems to recognize that, and he's backing off. While he took a pretty big hit there, he's not too far behind on workers. It is not insurmountable. As the Zerg player, you really don't want to be behind at workers in this junction of the game, but we already talked about it, man. This isn't peak pros StarCraft. They're not going to take the entire thing. We got Far and Chase. It's funny how we're nervous about basically nothing. It is, right? But the nerves and it's all about the competing. People who play StarCraft like to compete most of the time, and that's what it's all about. Moving back in with these Zerglings, trying to get a surround, thinks twice about it once again. Continuing to stay active. A nice little Zergling force here. At least he's active on the map, so he's keeping an eye if Protoss is coming to deal with him. It allows him to drone at home. Holding down that D key is going to be his way back into this game. He adds on a couple of spores, which I understand, but man, every spore is a drone, and it hurts so bad to lose them. His scout did not scout that he would need that because he won't. There's no DTs, there's no Stargate, but I guess he wasn't confident enough in the scout. He wasn't confident enough in the scout, and he's going to go better safe than sorry. Triple forge for Spirit on the other side of the map. We're going to have triple upgrades come in here. So, yeah, you don't see that every day. Usually you see double forge or single forge, but triple forge. Very aggressive. I like it. We do have a nice observer here for Spirit, sitting in a very advantageous position, able to keep an eye on everything, pretty much everything that Coyote's up to. Coyote's sneaking out some roaches, got a layer on the way, as well as a baneling nest, and trying to keep a few drones coming. Meanwhile, Spirit on the other side of the map is adding on his Robo Bay. And with that Robo Bay, it'll be interesting, and he's already, his Stargate's finished as well. So no unit coming out of the Stargate just yet, but wants all of the tech options available to him. Yeah, no upgrade coming out of the Twilight Council yet. He seems to be checking the tech boxes, but as he grows as a player, Spirit, I bet you we'll see him a little more refined instead of going down all the tech paths, going further down one tech path. But this is a pretty intimidating little force he's got out here. He's sitting on 41 army supply to the 44 of Coyote. Coyote's army supply, Roach, some Roaches, a couple Ravagers, and a lot of Zerglings. I think they're going to have a hard time dealing with this. One Immortal's not so bad. The Immortal's going to be the deciding factor. Why would you do that? You big bully! It was a peaceful animal! And you destroyed it! They can't even eat it now! I'm so sad! Why would you kill that little animal? I guess it's a big animal, but still. Alright, here we go. Here comes the fight we've been waiting for. While this push force has been moving across the map, the Zerg army's gotten a little scarier looking. Sitting on 60 supply to the 44. Also, he has closed the gap on workers and taken a lead for his own. Charge is on the way, but it's not even halfway done yet. These Zerglings are going to get on top of this army. Some nice force fields coming out from Spirit are going to maybe give him a decent fight here. But yeah, this Zerg force has just gotten too big, too fast. A recall is going to be necessary, and oh no, another Immortal rallied across the map to join his friends. Didn't get the memo about the recall. Gonna go down for free, and look at this. Coyote, after a little bit of a nervous start, not what he was hoping for, is now in a really good position here. He's down one worker, but he's got 3 bases. He's got a nice army here that he's moving out onto the map that's a little scary to deal with. Let's see if this Disruptor that Spirit's added to his force is able to even things up. Disruptors can be incredibly efficient units if they get the shots they need, but oh, that's a lot of Zerglings. Zerglings moving in towards the natural. Triple cannon. Oh, these cannons doing work. Zerglings on a move command are just getting shredded before they get anything done. Getting into the mineral line is nice. Meanwhile, the Roach Ravager force moves in towards the 3rd base while the Zerglings are cleaned up out of the natural in the main. No Disruptor shots of note, at least not yet, but Disruptors do pretty well against Roaches sometimes. Happy with the damage he's done. Coyote's going to pull back. He says, I took out your 3rd base. I have cleaned out some probes in the main. 20 probes have fallen during this push. A Colossus is going to pop. What a grab bag of units Spirit's built. $33 workers, now a little oversaturated at the natural. Spirit looking to regroup now that he has held his ground. He took a lot of damage. He's way behind in this game, a little more than half the supply of his opponent. He's down 30 workers. He's down 30 supply. It's going to be hard for him to crawl back in. My, how the turntables have turned. Alright, we've got charge lots. We've got Stalkers. We've got a single Immortal, a single Disruptor, and a single Colossus. So we've got a little a sampler platter of Robo units here, and I guess with anything's possible with a good Disruptor shot. Moving up the ramp is Spirit. Disruptor shot goes out. Gets some decent damage with the first shot. Not enough to get you out of the woods just yet, but not bad. Is able to jump on top of some morphing Banelings and take them out at no cost to himself. The rest of the Banelings pop. They look like they're going to get on top of these Zealots running for their lives. Or these Zealots, the Banelings are falling. Oh, the whole army's cornered. Banelings get pretty good damage there. Protoss units are tanky, though. The Disruptor shot does not work out. What happened? The Disruptor went down. The Disruptor tried to fire, but Disruptors have to stand still to fire. The Disruptor will fall to the Roach army of Spirit. Spirit's lead's looking good. He's up 65 workers to 34. He just needs to take a decisive fight and be patient here. He's got a 4th base up and running. He's adding 6 more drones. Love to see that. Plus one attack and ranged, or melee and ranged finishing for Coyote. Not going into the Carapace. Knows it's not worth it against a Protoss opponent. Kiting backward, looking to get the value from this Colossus to put himself back into the game. A Disruptor joins the fray, but it's in a very precarious position. The Disruptor will not be punished for going away from his friends. Here we go. Moving in towards the base. Sieging this base is Spirit. He's forgotten about Macro back at home. Nothing on that production tab. Oh, what a Disruptor shot! Holy moly! That was the kind of Disruptor shot he needed. Let's see if it will be enough. The Disruptor is down for now. Another round of charge lots join the fray. This Colossus in the back, along with this Immortal, looking to mow through these Roaches. What is going on? A handful of Corruptors are going to join the fray. The Corruptors will be able to take out this Colossus. Another recall comes out. The Colossus will escape with his life. That was one of the best Disruptor shots. Oh my god. That was a good Disruptor shot. Alright, moving in towards the 3rd base. Not out of the woods yet is Spirit. Still way down on workers. He needs to get back on that probe production if he's going to get back into this game. He doesn't seem to understand that economically he can get great shots like that, but Coyote's in a position where he can rebuild everything. This is the kind of game you win as a low diamond Zerg on the ladder, and then the Protoss player says LOL Zerg, because it's hard. One of the hardest things about learning this game is it's hard to like know where you stand in the game sometimes. He knows he got all that damage with the Adepts early, but he doesn't have the bird's eye view that we have. The bird's eye view of knowing how much this Zerg has scaled. The nice Disruptor shot takes out a good amount of morphing Banelings, which not for nothing is going to help the hold here, but here we go. Zerglings jump on top of the army. Roaches are catching up. Corruptors deal with the Colossus. Disruptor tries to fire his load. How did that shot get off? A nice Disruptor shot does get off despite that Disruptor being so dangerous, and despite the fact that Zerg is so far ahead in supply here. Too much of his army is in Roach Corruptor, and he's not ready to deal with this Protoss. Not yet. This is a well upgraded Protoss too. +2/+2/+1 on this Protoss to the only +1 attack on the Zerg. So that's a nice upgrade. The +2 melee on the way for Zerg will help that a bit. Here we go. Protoss jumps on top of the 3rd base, and here comes Zerg to say something about it. Right-clicked on the base. Another Disruptor shot doing work to try and get this Protoss back into the game. The Banelings come rolling in. A bunch of Banelings blow their load on that Disruptor. It's not efficient, but it's effective as the Disruptor falls down. The Roaches are here cleaning up the remaining Zealots. He really needs to get rid of this. Oh, GG's called. He recognizes how far behind he is economically. And Coyote takes game 1, the economic victory. Hey, man. So Spirit wasn't able to pull that out, and you feel for him. But, God, did he give us some awesome Disruptor shots to yell at on the screen. Some of those Disruptor shots were nice. But yeah, not this time, not this time. Zerg is going to take map number 1. Let's see what we got for map number 2. Of Würmchen versus Spirit. I think I said it right that time. Here we go. It's been a couple hours of good games here. This might be the last game, depending on how it goes. Maybe we got one more. Let's get into it and find out. Oops. Alright, spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Zerg player up 1-0 in the series. It's Coyote. And in the bottom left-hand corner, looking to maybe find a little more direction in his build, game 2, Spirit. Oh, Coyote, you cheeky, cheeky, cheeky guy. We've got ourselves 15/14. And you're going to make a hatch now? You are. I think we're going to have a 15 hatch Ling Flood out of Coyote here. So if you don't know, 15 hatch is a Ling flood that hits a little later than a 12 pool, but it hits so much harder, and it can be hard to recognize. And if you don't recognize that it's coming, it can absolutely... I saw a Platinum 1, maybe he was Diamond 3. He was significantly lower ranked than his Protoss opponent in an in-house tournament for Valid G. Sneak a game off of a Masters 1 Protoss with this 15 hatch build. It's, if executed well, it can be very, very deadly. Spirit coming in with the scout, and here's why it's so hard to tell what's going on. Especially, it's so subtle. This hatch, usually you're looking to see if the hatch is late, but this hatch is actually early. And, yeah, it can be tough to tell. It can be real tough to tell. Let's see if Coyote has the execution on his build that he's going to need to run his opponent over. Spirit, on the other hand, let's see what his plan's going to be. He was good at opening up tech options last game, and he's got a lot of good fundamentals, I think Spirit does. Fell off the worker production, but this is a completely different game from game number 1. It's being played in a completely different style. Last game, he was able to get a ton of damage with his Adepts, and this Ling Flood's going to hit before that's even an option this time around. He hasn't recognized what's coming yet. The one thing that Spirit does that might help him against this build is his he walls on the high ground and he doesn't go for that early expansion. So that might help him. He's going to have a nice choke point here to hold. You see the Zerglings are on the production tab. They're going to start flooding here very soon. As soon as this speed is popped, we're going to see Zerglings just absolutely flooding across the map. It's so many Zerglings, too. This time, Spirit opting to go with a Stalker instead of an Adept. And a Stargate. So this is a much more standard opening from Spirit, with the exception that he didn't quick expand. But quick expand wouldn't have been good against the Zerg build. Has Spirit stumbled ass backwards into a hard counter for the 15 hatch? Let's find out. Spirit beginning to flood these units across the map, and as we take, or Coyote, pardon me, flooding units across the map, and as we take a look at Spirit's point of view, his actions tell me he doesn't know what's coming. He doesn't have any vision. Oh my gosh, and his Stalker is going to run just the wrong path, and he's not going to see what's coming. No other unit in production. Oh no. Oh no. If you're a Protoss player, you may want to look away at this point in time. Look at that mini-map. There is pink everywhere. Here we go, a whole bunch of Zerglings. GG is called, not looking to play it out. Coyote taking the first 2-0 of the night, and that's going to wrap it up. Well, 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 Coyote. Würmchen, well executed 15 hatch, runs them over. That's going to do it for JSL Evolutions, Group D, Week 1. I appreciate everyone who's watched tonight. I will be back this week with week number 2. These games have already been played. Why push with the Stalker there? I think the idea is on the ladder he runs into more passive players. It's a gamble, right? Because he didn't have any scouting information, and he confirmed no 12 pool, but he didn't know what he was going to find across the map. So if you go run across the map with that Stalker and your opponent hasn't been doing anything, maybe you find an Overlord on the map. You can be annoying, but that's counting on the fact that your Zerg opponent was droning, and that wasn't the case this time. That's going to do it, guys. These are a bunch of great series tonight. If you missed your series, if you tuned in late and missed your games, I'm going to get these trimmed up for YouTube tomorrow when I'm supposed to be working or studying. I'm going to do it tomorrow during